Greetings, Eric Backer, naturopath from New Zealand. Thanks for checking out my video today. Today we're going to talk about 5 classic mistakes that many naturopaths make when treating a person with a Candida problem. So notice how the title doesn't say doctors, it says naturopaths. And that's because doctors don't even recognize Candida problem, which is quite sad because there's plenty of scientific literature now validating the work I've been doing now for a long, long time. Maybe one day. So let's look at the 5 things. Not testing and making assumptions. Well, my dad always used to say to me, if you assume, you make a ass out of you and me. You're assuming, okay? Never make assumptions. If you've been sick for a long time, I highly recommend comprehensive digestive stool analysis, either through a Genova Diagnostics Lab or Doctor's Data Lab in Illinois, Chicago. So, making assumption is a bad idea. I can absolutely say with 100% clarity that over half the people I see who swear they've got Candida, in fact, have got no Candida at all. So they may have a complete lack of beneficial bacteria that couldn't even be cultured in the stool test. They may have 1 or more parasites that are showing up in the parasitology screen. They may have multiple kinds of dysbiotic flora, like Citrobacter frondi, like Pseudomonas. Okay, there could be bad bacteria there in high amounts. Very common for me to find people with a lack of beneficial bacteria. Everything else is in order, but they had nil growth lactobacillus, they had nil growth bifidobacteria. So if you can't even culture beneficial bacteria in a stool test, you've got a big problem on your hands. Many people in this realm often have fatigue, anxiety, depression, and they feel very bad. They've got sugar cravings, they feel really, really poorly in many ways, and they swear they've got Candida until they do the stool test. Right? So it's a very smart idea to do a comprehensive stool test if you've been sick for a while and you want to get to the bottom of your problem. Anybody who throws a bunch of supplements at you and then it doesn't work and then you go to another practitioner and they do the same thing, you need to start thinking about testing. It's a very clever idea. Right? So, number 2. Diet focused and not wellness centered. Too many naturopaths focus on diet. I put this to lack of experience, clinical experience mainly. I mean, this coming up next year will be my 32nd year of practice. Not many naturopaths make it to 30 years, let alone 20 years. A lot of them that I know, that I qualified with, have long quit their job and they're doing other kinds of work. When you've seen the amount of patients I have over the years and completed, 4,000 stool tests like I have or more, you start to understand a lot of patterns with people. You start to understand that it's a lot more than just diet, that people need to get better. Many people need to address their lifestyle, which we'll talk a bit later on in point number 5. So there'll be an obstacle, there'll be something there that's not quite right, and that needs changing. One thing you'll read time again in my book, I wrote Einstein's quote, the definition of insanity is doing the same stuff all the time and expecting a different outcome. So you may be eating the best food under the sun and you're still not getting better. Well, what are you going to do? Eat better food? Change the kind of food you're eating? Do you think that's going to make any difference? You're missing the point. Something else needs changing. You may need to see a practitioner who addresses an obstacle that you're currently not looking at. Maybe you've got a pair of these on that need changing. You need to look through different types of glasses, right? If you get my point. Number 3, one-trick ponies. So one-trick ponies, by that I mean your practitioner may just say, I'm a Candida expert. Every time a person comes to that practitioner, everything will be assumed to be Candida without even testing. What, you got an itchy scalp? Must be a yeast infection. Think about it. You're tired? Must be a yeast infection. So if everything is a nail to them with Candida, then the only solution is going to be the hammer for that nail. You may need to go to someone with a lot more clinical experience who doesn't just see everything as a Candida problem. Number 4, poor choice of supplementation. So many people take the wrong kind of supplements. They take too many things, or they don't take supplements that are appropriate to their needs. When I designed the Candida formulas, they were designed on thousands of stool tests and tens of thousands of patients and hundreds of thousands of clinical hours of practice. I started to see the need for a product that had a very broad spectrum action on parasites, on bad bacteria, and on multiple species of yeasts. And that's where the Candida got designed from that particular profile. Many people who come to me take maybe oregano. They may take a bit of grapefruit seed extract. They may take something with unresolved acid in it. But the problem is they're not taking all of those together in a formula that's carefully balanced. So when you take something that's broad spectrum, it's going to have a much, much better effect, particularly when you take that in conjunction with what I said with point 2, becoming more wellness-centered and not just diet-focused. Okay, the very best supplements are only going to work with the very best protocol that you apply specifically for your particular needs, not for the practitioner pigeonholing you into their own little piece of paper. Right? Many practitioners will just give you a diet sheet and say, here, follow this, and these are the pills. But they won't drill things down. Number 5, that's what leads us on to this. Failure to uncover and work with the person's particular obstacle to cure. Okay? Many people have got what we call an obstacle to cure. So they'll have a particular issue that's preventing them from getting the progress that they're looking for. Okay? It'll be a stumbling block, and it's right in their path. It could be very obvious to the practitioner, but maybe it's overlooked in favor of a diet and a bunch of pills. That obstacle could be often some type of stress in a person's life. It'll be a weakness that the body exploits. I've got a nice quotation here from a person which I wrote in my Candida book. Strength is not born from strength. Strength is born from weakness. Right? So be glad of your weaknesses because they're the beginning of your strength. So be glad that you've got something, okay, that makes you weak, that the body's exploiting, because once you uncover that weakness and make it strong, you'll become a very strong person. Right? Illness is there for a reason. It's there, I believe, as a teacher to show us different ways of living. And if we are a good pupil and we understand what we're being taught and we implement that, we can become very powerful and strong people. All right? You get my point? I think I'll leave you guys with that. And again, this video was not meant to bash or to ridicule naturopaths at all. It's just meant to show that when you get a certain level of experience and you start treating people and you look at cases differently, you're going to get a lot different outcome than just giving people a bunch of pills and a diet sheet. Thanks for tuning in.